out there in the current. Small swell of the day.
Welcome back to the Water's Edge. Today we are jumping right into the video and I'm going to be discussing how I fish the shallows in the fall for striped bass. The techniques in this video will be specifically for fishing the more developed tidal rivers like the ones on the western shore of the Chesapeake Bay, but they can be applied anywhere on the Chesapeake. So in October, water temperatures are steadily dropping, and over the course of the month we have seen water temperatures go from the low 70s all the way down into the upper 50s. This has caused the bait fish to start exiting the tidal rivers and move into the main stem of the bay. Rockfish are also starting to school up in the deeper water to feed on these schools of fish, but you can still catch them in the shallows. On most years, I can catch fish in the shallows all the way up into mid-December, and during the fall, shallow water cover in the form of docks, rock jetties, stump fields, and riprap will hold fish most of the time.
So I'm just gonna let Brady cast right now. This wind is ripping out here. See, get it there. Yeah, let's see if he can catch a fish.
One of the most important factors is the tide, and I prefer to fish a high outgoing tide, but a moving tide on either end of the cycle is key.
On? There you go.
Feels small.
Little guy? Perch?
Not a perch.
Oh no. Schoolie rockfish. Alright, there's some here. First fish. What, about a 16?
About a
14?
maybe a 14.
Oh, that's dinky. He's just fat.
On this trip, Brady and I are specifically targeting docks. Now, there are hundreds of docks in any given tidal river, so it can be a lot of water to cover. I typically try to fish docks that are on shoreline points, on ledges where there's shallow water going to deeper water, or ones that stick out in the water farther than the others. You will notice that we do not have electronics on this John boat, and that is how we grew up fishing. We would take this John boat out and learn our local waters the best we could by fishing different areas during different tide cycles at different times throughout the year, just to get an idea of where the fish stage up and where you can have a good chance of finding them. Good electronics with side scan will exponentially increase your odds of finding fish, but you don't have to have electronics to catch fish on the bay, and I'll show you that in this video. You'll see that we're not spending a lot of time casting at any given dock. Usually within a few casts, you will know if there are fish there or not. On this trip, we had a high outgoing tide. It's my favorite tide cycle to fish, especially when it lines up in the afternoon. So I expected to find fish in the shallows on this trip. I've also noticed that this time of year, sometimes the fish will not be in the shallows in the mornings, even if you have a good tide cycle. Rather, they will move into those shallow water spots in the evenings, and the bait fish also tend to move into the shallow water in the evenings as well. At least that's just what I've noticed. It seems to be a pretty typical October pattern. When fishing the docks, we usually try to take casts from farther away and slowly move in closer. We don't want to spook any fish in the area. We usually stay, 20, 30 yards off and take our casts just in case there are fish hanging off the ends of those docks, and if we don't get any bites, then we will move in and start casting closer to the docks and up under them just to see if there's any fish hanging closer to that cover.
There he is. There he is. He's all wrapped up. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. There we go. All right, I'm on the board. He wasn't even foul hooked, dude, just got wrapped up. There you go, buddy.
Now, throughout the year when I'm fishing for striped bass, I'm always throwing paddle tails. I always have a rod rigged up with paddle tails. It's just a great overall bait to throw for stripers. This time of year, I like throwing between a 3 to 5 inch paddle tail. You can even upsize to a 6-inch paddle tail. White is a great color. I like to rotate between chartreuse, white, pearl, and darker water. You can kind of go with like a bronzish color, but a standard like pearl or white or like a natural colored menhaden colored paddle tail is going to be an all-around great bait to throw. For stripers, perch will hit them too, puppy drum, speckled trout. It's just a great bait to throw. When I'm fishing shallow water, depending on the wind and depending on the tidal movement, I'll usually throw between a 1/4 ounce up to an ounce. Sometimes if that wind is really whipping and I need to be casting into it, a 1 ounce jig head is required. So really just kind of got to gauge your weather conditions and then match the jig head for the style of fishing you're doing that day.
Got him. Nice. Little guy. Nice, 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 nice. Yeah. Can we catch more than one off a dock?
At this dock, we saw a classic example of the fish kind of hanging off of the dock and not being right up on it. Most of the bites we got here were from fish hanging around 10 yards off the dock and not right up on it. So if we would have just motored right up to this dock and gotten really close, we could cast up under to the pilings. We likely would have scared all the fish in the area and not gotten any bites here.
Doubled. Are we tangled or? No. You got a good one? Oh, mine came off. Mine came off.
He's borderline.
He might be. Yeah. Damn it. Mine came off. See if I can get one though.
A little short.
Yeah.
17.
My paddle tail is just absolutely shredded. That one might go 19. Here, let me take a cast in there before you do. Mine felt decent.
That fish, the one I had ran.
So did mine. Bait fish? Let's see if I can get another one. I'm gonna. There he is.
Off behind, like,
Nice. Can you handle him?
yeah.
Little guy?
Yep. Those were slow, steady.
Yeah. Another one. Nice.
Pretty far out. Like right where he just swirled is where he hit it.
Better? They just fight so hard.
Maybe he's wrapped up. Real slow, like slow and slow.
There we go. Little guy. It must just be sitting out there in the current.
Yeah.
Smallest one of the day. I'll get us back closer to it.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Little guy. Another one, nice. We are in a school of fish right now, guys. We're just doing steady retrieves off this dock. There's a good current ripping out, an outgoing tide coming out of the river. Everything's been small though.
One of the apps that I really like to use to help me look at tidal predictions for my area is the Predict Current app. It's really neat because you can log a bunch of different areas within the app. You can set, for different sections of the bay, and it kind of has it in a grid format. So if I go to my local waters around the Annapolis area, I have that grid selected, and it shows me basically the upper bay all the way down to my area near the west and road rivers. But I could also go and select Solomon's Island, for example. And then if I were to go to the map, it would show me a map of the bay basically from the mouth of the Potomac all the way up to, again, my local waters in the Deal area. And it shows the current tidal movements, which is really neat. But let's go ahead and go back to my home screen so I can go back to my local waters. And I'll show you guys exactly how I would be using this app if I was getting ready to go fishing. So I'll look at the current tide predictions. So for right now, we can see we've got a strong incoming current, but it also gives really good future forecasts. So I can go hour by hour and look and see what the tide is going to be doing at any given hour. And it shows a week out. So it really helps me plan the areas that I want to fish to line up with the specific tide cycles that I want. So tomorrow I would have a high outgoing current starting around 5 o'clock. So that'd be a perfect evening tide cycle to fish. We'd have peak high right around the 1 to 2 o'clock time, and then that tide will really get going in the evenings. So that is a time that I would want to be out on the water trying to fish some of these shoreline docks where that current is moving and those stripers are going to be feeding. And it's great because you can log a bunch of different areas within the app, and it shows you where those tides are going to be moving. So this is an app that I would definitely recommend trying out. As far as rods go, I like going with medium lights. Right here, I'm using a Okuma DTR Custom. It is a medium light fast action rod. It is paired with a ITX CB 2500, so pretty light tackle, perfect for small schoolie stripers, but it can also handle fish, up in that 30-inch range. Don't expect to come across fish like that in the shallows this time of year. Most of our resident fish are that 20 to 24-inch size, and even a little smaller than that. On this trip, we caught a lot of 17 to 18-inch fish.
Oh, tiny hit.
Perch hit?
Yeah. Where you at? Under me? Got another one.
This one might
be a keeper.
He's either wrapped
or it feels decent. Oh yeah, that's a keeper. He's gonna be close.
that measuring stick.
There you go. I would keep that fish.
I'm gonna keep him in a bucket.
You gonna bleed him?
If you have a knife.
I got a knife on my hip right here.
I thought that the bite was going to get better as that sunset got lower, but we kind of just stopped getting bites. Brady did end up catching a couple more fish at some isolated structures. We also ran across to the mouth of the Road River. There's a lot of shoreline with stump fields over there. I've never really caught a whole lot of fish over there, but this time of year it is good structure. We had a good tide. He did catch a couple fish over there, so it's worth checking out if you're over there. Definitely be careful because on a low tide there is a lot of structure. So I hope everything that I talked about in this video made sense. It was a little bit of a different style video where I'm kind of doing a more in-depth analysis of my style of fishing, the reasoning behind it, and the techniques that I implement to catch fish this time of year. So if you guys have any questions, please drop them down in the comments. If this is your first time visiting my channel, please make sure to subscribe to it. I've got tons of videos of my fishing trips on the Chesapeake Bay on the channel. I recommend checking those out. There's a lot of fun ones on there, and we're moving into one of the best times of the year to be fishing on the Chesapeake Bay. So I've got a lot of plans for the upcoming striper run. We should start seeing those migratory big ocean run fish come back to the bay in late November and December, and that has been a phenomenal fishery the past few years. It's been really fun to get on that, so I hope we get to experience it again. But regardless, our resident fish are going to be offering up a lot of action on the main stem of the bay as they're feeding on schools of bait and the bird shows get popping off. This is my favorite time of year to fish on the bay. It's getting colder, but the action is red hot. So I hope you guys are planning to get out too, because it is a lot of fun. Thanks for watching today's video. I've got some more great ones on the way. I appreciate you guys taking the time out of your day to join me on this video, and as always, I hope you join me on the next episode of The Water's Edge. You guys have a great day.